All right. So for the Automoblox car, so there are two videos that show you how to put together the wheel assembly and then the bed assembly, which is subassembly 1. And then there's a second video for the front, so which is subassembly 2. And then I did not create a video for subassembly 3, but I talked about it a little bit in subassembly 2. So you're going to create those 3 subassemblies, and they are going to use the same commands, okay, the same sort of principles. The only thing that you're going to have to do is once you get, okay, those 3 subassemblies into their own assembly, so the final assembly, you're going to have to place one of these connectors, okay? And the connectors are a little bit tricky. They're not too bad to do, okay? It just takes a little bit of thinking. So I'm going to ground the front, which I believe it already is. And in order to connect the connector, you're going to constrain, and you're going to constrain one of these surfaces right here, okay, to the flat surface on the 2-block socket right here. Okay? So that way, when you put those two together, this is what it looks like, and it connects those two faces. The other thing that's a little confusing, okay, is that to connect the squares inside here, you must use the mate constraint, and you must use the edge, okay? There's 2 different edges. There's an edge closest to this face, and there's an edge closest to this face. I'm honestly not sure if it'll work with either edge, okay? But I just choose the edge closest to the face that I'm using. So I need to stop this socket or connector from moving back and forth. So you have to remember what side of the connector and what side of the socket you're actually putting together. So you're going to put the inside of this one together. So you need to use this face right here closest to the car. Okay. Next one, I'm actually going to change that this is my home view. Okay. Next one that I'm going to do is I need to stop it from moving up and down. So before I did a mate with a face, this time I did a mate with an edge to a face, and now I'm going to mate this edge on the top here, okay, that edge on the top to the top face on here and hit apply. Okay, so theoretically that block should not move. When you place the, well, you should already have those 3 in this assembly, but when you put those 3 together, there's going to be a 1-block socket over here for the front part of the car. So if you were to place the 1-block socket, this would theoretically already be placed in the front of your car using the same methods to place the 1 and 2-block socket before. You're going to have to do the same thing. But with this one, you're going to constrain, I believe it's this one right here, to this face in here. Is that too far? Okay, that one might be acceptable. Or you might constrain this face right here to that one right there. I think those are the 2 that you want together. Okay, so those should line up. So the back face in there and the face in here. And you might have to do some tweaking to these constraints. You might have to say, well, wait a minute, I need this one to be touching here now instead. The car overlaps, you might have to go back to these different pieces and change the constraints that apply to them. Okay, same thing to get this one to stop moving though. So you need to constrain an edge with a surface. Whoa. Bring those 2 closer together. I'm going to do an edge here. Okay, I chose an edge on the top, so I need to choose a surface on the top here. Let me get those two so they're actually together. Oh my goodness, where'd the other one go? So constrain, I'm going to do the top edge on here with the top surface in here. And then those should fit, and then the same thing on the inside. Constrain, I'm going to do the edge on here to the surface on here. And that should give you what you need.